on it. Welcome to my channel where future billionaires come to get inspired. So you're thinking, which are the best universities for networking with other rich kids? Where can you rub shoulders with the future CEOs of Fortune 500 companies while simultaneously trying to pass Econ 101? I feel you. Well, we've got you covered with our top 10 list of universities where super rich kids go. Buckle up, because we're about to dive into a world of insane privilege, legacy admissions, and more money than you can shake a stick at. Let's do this thing. First up, we're jetting off to the United Arab Emirates, a land of luxury cars, towering skyscrapers, and American University. You heard that right. The car culture there is next level. Lambos, Ferraris, Bugattis, cruising down Sheikh Zayed Road. This wealth spills over into the American University parking lot. Range Rovers, Porsches, Aston Martins, casual everyday cars. These aren't even their parents' cars. Next up, we're hopping across the pond to good old England, where we'll be visiting the prestigious London School of Economics. This is where future world leaders and captains of industry come to learn how to, well, lead the world and run industries. We're talking about an institution that boasts alumni like George Soros, the man, the myth, the billionaire investor legend. And he's not alone. A whopping 7.5% of UK-based millionaires are LSE alumni. So if you find yourself strolling through the halls of LSE, try not to trip over a pile of freshly minted pounds sterling. Just kidding. Maybe. All right, folks, now we're heading stateside to the heart of Silicon Valley, Stanford University. Stanford is crazy expensive and competitive to get into. A big chunk of those acceptance letters goes to legacy students. If your parents or grandparents went to Stanford, you've got a higher chance. And those alumni, they're everywhere in Silicon Valley. Google, Apple, Facebook, you name it, there's a Stanford grad running the show. Let's hop across the pond to Oxford University. Centuries-old buildings, green lawns, students in tweed jackets. It's basically Hogwarts, but with more economics. Who needs magic when you've got old money? Oxford has a long history of educating the elite, royalty, prime ministers, and future CEOs. Next up, we're taking a trip to India, the land of vibrant colours, delicious food, and the University of Mumbai. Now, this isn't your average Indian university. This is where the children of Bollywood stars, business tycoons, and political dynasties come to get their education. We're talking about a place where being a millionaire isn't a distant dream. It's practically a requirement. These kids are already used to a life of luxury, and attending a top university like the University of Mumbai is just par for the course. They're networking with the future leaders of India, making connections that will last a lifetime, and probably figuring out how to launch their own billion-dollar startups on the side. All right. Back to the US of A for another Ivy League powerhouse, the University of Pennsylvania. Now, UPenn has a reputation for churning out some pretty impressive alumni. I mean, we're talking Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and Warren Buffett, the holy trinity of, well, you know. But let's be real, getting into UPenn isn't just about acing your SATs and having a killer essay. It's also about having a certain pedigree, a certain lineage. And by lineage, I mean a family tree that's overflowing with CEOs, politicians, and, you guessed it, Ivy League graduates. Those annual fundraisers? Let's just say they're not your average bake sale. We're talking about events that make the Met Gala look like a casual backyard barbecue. All right, back to the US of A for another Ivy League powerhouse, the University of Pennsylvania. Now, UPenn has a reputation for churning out some pretty impressive alumni. I mean, we're talking Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and Warren Buffett, the holy trinity of, well, you know. But let's be real, getting into UPenn isn't just about acing your SATs and having a killer essay. It's also about having a certain pedigree, a certain lineage. And by lineage, I mean a family tree that's overflowing with CEOs, politicians, and, you guessed it, Ivy League graduates. Those annual fundraisers? Let's just say they're not your average bake sale. We're talking about events that make the Met Gala look like a casual backyard barbecue. All right, Back to the US of A for another Ivy League powerhouse, the University of Pennsylvania. Now, UPenn has a reputation for churning out some pretty impressive alumni. I mean, we're talking Donald Trump, Elon Musk and Warren Buffett, the holy trinity of, well, you know. But let's be real, getting into UPenn isn't just about acing your SATs and having a killer essay. It's also about having a certain pedigree, a certain lineage. And by lineage, I mean a family tree that's overflowing with CEOs, politicians and, you guessed it, Ivy League graduates. Those annual fundraisers? Let's just say they're not your average bake sale. We're talking about events that make the Met Gala look like a casual backyard barbecue. Next up, we're heading to the land of quirky students and intellectual debates, Brown University. Brown has a reputation for being the hipster Ivy, more likely to discuss philosophy in a coffee shop than intern at Goldman Sachs. But don't be fooled, it attracts trust fund babies and future CEOs. Emma Watson went there thanks to her family's Gringotts vault. Those tuition fees, dragon-sized bank account required. All right, folks, we're entering the hallowed halls of Yale University, home to secret societies, future presidents and more money than you can shake a stick at. It's prestigious, exclusive and full of students who probably summer in the Hamptons. The library looks like it belongs in a Harry Potter movie, and the students look like they just stepped out of a J. Crew catalogue. Those secret societies, don't even get me started. They're like something out of a Dan Brown novel, full of rituals, traditions, and future world leaders. From George W. Bush to Anderson Cooper, Yale has produced some of the most influential people in the world. Now we're heading to the concrete jungle of New York City, where dreams are made of and tuition fees will make your bank account cry. That's right, folks, it's Columbia University. Now, Columbia has a reputation for being a haven for intellectuals, artists, and, well, anyone who can afford that hefty price tag. We're talking about a place where you can bump into a Nobel laureate on your way to class and then grab coffee with a future Oscar winner. But let's be real, those Nobel laureates and Oscar winners probably came from pretty privileged backgrounds. From Jake Gyllenhaal to Alicia Keys, Columbia has produced some of the biggest names in Hollywood. And those alumni connections, they're priceless. We've arrived at the holy grail of universities, Harvard, the Ivy League champion, the institution that screams elite. Harvard has a reputation for being, well, Harvard. It's the oldest university in the US, producing more presidents than any other school. Its endowment could solve world hunger. Students discuss internships at the UN and legendary social clubs. Getting into Harvard is like winning the lottery. A golden ticket to the upper echelons of society. All right, future billionaires, that's a wrap on our tour of where the super rich kids hang out. It's about the connections you make and the doors that open when you're part of such an elite club. If you're lucky enough to attend, seize it. There are plenty of other paths to success. Thanks for watching and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Peace out.